All right. Welcome to the Way to a Great Marriage Cast. We have LaRonda here getting ready to say one of her mother Oma's songs that she wrote years ago. I'm going to turn it over to LaRonda now.
Hello, welcome. This song is called Forgiveness. Forgiveness has come. Oh, I've been forgiven. Jesus reached down and handed to me his precious love right down from heaven. I can forgive, for he forgave me. The tempter tries to steal and to kill, but oh, I have God's everlasting seal. I have his spirit now living inside me. I can forgive, for I'm in his hands. There's only one way to get into heaven. Let Jesus in, he'll free you from sin. When the enemy comes, oh, will you be ready? For Jesus is there and he'll be your friend. Forgiveness has come. Oh, I've been forgiven. Jesus reached down and he handed to me his precious love come right down from heaven. I can forgive cause he forgave me. Thank you, Lord, for forgiveness. I don't know when Mom wrote it. It doesn't say. Sometimes it says, oh, no, right here. It's on the back. February 10th, 1999, as she wrote it. It was handwritten on the back, and then I printed it out on the computer. Mom's got some pretty songs.
Okay. So we can't agree on what to title it tonight, whether forgiveness or who is right. So who is right?
He's always right.
Well, Tim sent me this short.
Okay.
And in it, this guy, he says, I or they are right. And then the first one, he says, if I'm wrong and they're right, then they're right. That's kind of, he says that's obvious.
And we know if we're wrong. Well, we really truly do.
Okay. Well, then it gets a little complicated.
Oh no.
Okay. So if he is right and they are right, then they are the ones that are right. Because he says, and I don't like this. You've heard this before. I'd rather be happy than right.
No.
But a lot of couples have that philosophy, though. That's what that I was going to talk about.
Okay.
I guess a lot of guys have that philosophy.
A lot of guys feel like they're demasculated if they're wrong. I mean, really, truly, because which Tony is honestly, all jokes aside, right about a whole lot of stuff. He's intelligent. He knows a whole lot. He reads a lot. If you're a reader, you're more intelligent than someone who's not, heavily read. Different books, different opinions, different ways of thinking. I've always loved reading my whole life, but as an adult, I've not read a whole lot of different books, so.
But it alludes to, there's a thing like, what, if mom was not happy, nobody's happy?
If mom's not happy, nobody's happy.
But that,
if mama's not happy, ain't nobody happy. Because she's not happy.
I need not wipe my eye. Anyway,
no.
There's a problem with that statement, though, is that it implies that the husband and the children are afraid of mommy to tell her when she's wrong, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I think what they meant is mama works so hard in the home that if something happened that she's sad or something, then it makes the whole home feel like it's not complete and not
Oh,
together.
okay.
That's kind of how, I mean, we
Yeah.
joke about everything. So if mama's not happy, if she's unhappy about something, or if, she's sad about something, then it kind of throws everything off kilter for everybody, But it would be the same way if dad too, we're getting ready to have Father's Day Sunday. Happy Father's Day, baby. Early. Um, fathers seems like on Father's Day don't get as much, to me, like hype as Mother's Day does.
Well, that's because we're in Pride Month.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. No. That didn't come in my mind.
They stole our month from
They
us
did.
and gave it to Pride.
They did. But you guys have never, even before Pride Month, you guys, you guys did not get as much.
That's one of the things that I saw the other day is, one day for mothers, one day for fathers, one day for veterans, and a whole month for Pride.
I know. I'm saddened about that. My emojis on my phone have Happy Pride.
Oh, really?
My emojis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't delete them?
No. I'm like, I was telling my friends that, and I can't remember who I sent it to. Maybe Dawnette. I can't remember who I sent it to. And I was like, can you believe this? Even the little emojis. Come on. I mean, do we have heterosexual month?
They had to still our rainbow too, but they rearranged the color.
They can't have my rainbow. It's a promise from God.
Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green.
So
indigo and violet.
Blue. And we love all people. Don't let them, because we'll get hate mail. Oh, we love all people. And a sin's a sin, no matter what kind it is. Your sin is no greater than mine. But we do have our opinions on things. So.
But we're getting off
there. Okay, sorry. This is about forgiveness. Who's right and who's wrong?
He said, if I'm right and they're wrong, then they're right.
That doesn't make sense. If I'm right and they're wrong.
He was a comedian and this was a joke.
Gotcha.
But
it don't make sense.
But it is so true. That's the way that it is, especially, when you're walking on eggshells in a relationship. You're afraid to confront your relationship. And you talked about the emasculation.
Yeah. The emasculating in man. I don't want to do that.
Feminification of men.
Yeah. No. I don't want you to be feminine, baby. I want you to be manly. I don't want no woman as my husband. Sorry.
We'll stand up to a bear, but not a woman.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Whenever she's wrong. And sometimes we have to have, those conversations. I mean, if you, in some cases.
Terry said something.
In some cases, if one of you is wrong, they need to know because it could be detrimental to the relationship.
It could be, yeah.
She says, "Mama always had to be happy in our house."
It makes a separation if your mom's not happy. Because I've seen one time my mom. This is years ago, back when we lived in Burning Springs, when I was like maybe 10 or 11. My mom got so nervous and stuff. She got put in the hospital. She couldn't quit shaking, and so our world was turned upside down. What'd Terry say?
She's talking about herself.
Oh,
me.
Oh, that's right, baby. when Terry Mama is upset and the whole place is upset. It's like with me, I guess because I'm so what do you call me? Try to wait on you all the time. What do you call that? You call it something. Codependent. Couldn't think of that if you'd give me $1 million.
Not necessarily that you want to wait on me. That you wait on me and I haven't asked. Yes, or you haven't asked me if I want you.
I was raised that way. I really was. You just take somebody if they're sitting there.
And it's really if you get upset that you're not appreciated.
Yeah. No. I just love to take care of my family, and it's just the way I was raised by my mom. But when she was in the hospital and sick and like nervous, like and stuff, our family was all tore apart. It was like Dad worked in the coal mines, and there was me and Dwayne, and then so he had to. So that is really a true statement. If Mama is not happy, then there's nobody happy.
Dave waits on me, and I wait on him.
They do. They really do. We're talking about if she had to have something done, like surgery or something like that. And I told her you would wait on me. I said, Tony jokes around and stuff, but he would definitely take care of me.
Love is extended from both sides.
Yes, absolutely. I think I take care of Tony right now more than he takes care of me. But I think if I really needed someone, if I had to have surgery or something, you would take care of me. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. So, but I'm just a kind of caregiver kind of gal. So, my mom was too.
Right.
So was my mama. We joked about that today, didn't we, Terry? Papa said, I love you. And if I ever change my mind, I'll let you know. So he would not say I love you a whole lot. He would just say, love you, Papa. He'd say, ditto. Ditto. But anyway, that's off the subject. We were talking about forgiveness.
Yeah, that's another thing. They were, I heard on K-Love one time that we really shouldn't say I love you too. Just say I love you back.
Right. I love you.
Because that's like saying
it is. I love you too. I love you to the beach and back, to the moon and back, to the stars and back.
Infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond.
I used to do that. Some people would be like, well, I love you too. Well, I love you three. And I'd be like, well, I love you too.
Oh, I love that.
But anyway, so then you wanted to talk about, I think we've already talked about forgiveness before.
Not in as a subject. Get down, Katie.
No, we haven't?
Not as a subject. I said, can we talk about forgiveness tonight? Because the song that Mom wrote was forgiveness. But I wanted you to title. We couldn't figure out a title because we were so busy today. We didn't really have time.
We were.
I was. You weren't. I was busy all day. Something happened 2 days ago. I couldn't get Tony's medicine for his eye. He's having surgery tomorrow on his eye. The whole place was shut down. Their computers was gone. She said, I can't even sell you a pack of bubble gum. Is what she said.
What if you had exact changing?
No, they wouldn't. They closed everything down. Walgreens was closed down in Berea. But anyway, I called his place today, and they said, no, that's fine.
I've been into McDonald's. They were writing it in a notebook.
Yeah. They didn't do that at Walgreens. So I said, maybe you guys need to have the old-fashioned way set up in case that grid thing gets locked down. It was what it kind of reminded me of it. If we could not use computers, or you'd have to go back to writing it on a piece of paper, like the old-fashioned way, like the old country stores. If you bought a pop, 5 cents, Coca-Cola, whatever, they would write it down, whatever you bought. Loaf of bread, 25 cents. That's how I did it in my store. Yeah, I love that, actually.
Before I had the grocery store, when I had the baseball card shop in my house.
Well, when we had...
I didn't have that many sales a day either.
When we had the grocery store, the old-fashioned one up in Greyhawk, we would do a whole lot of... we had a cash register there, but we would write a whole lot of things down. When we had the furniture store, Dad was old school, so we had a ledger this long that we would write down everything daily.
Well, that's what I would do.
Yeah. But then we did it in the computer too. Dad said, I don't trust the computer. When we first got a computer. But anyways.
Rather than filling up my ledger, I did it on in a notebook.
Yeah. Dad had the little green ledger, it had like 18 places to write stuff down. But anyway, they said it was fine that he just had the gooey antibiotic stuff today and tonight. So, but anyway, I thought that was so
Is that the
strange.
reason you couldn't do it
Yeah, I didn't have it.
last night?
As I walked downstairs, I said, I can't do it because
Okay.
so I didn't know if he'd have his surgery or not tomorrow. And I called and they called me back and she said, no, that ain't got nothing to do with
Well, I
it.
was worried this morning I had a fever.
You did?
I think I did.
Oh
I wasn't
no.
feeling well.
Yeah.
Well, I was in bed.
Well, I didn't wake you up. But anyway, back to the forgiveness thing. What I wanted Tony to talk about was forgiveness and when do you feel like you have to forgive as a couple? The Bible says we have to forgive 7 times 70 with
Yeah.
mercy and grace.
Well, I don't think we hold anything against each other.
No, absolutely. I know I was just talking about couples.
Right.
Well, I don't have to forgive you for that. You did it. You know you did.
Well, that was what that. Who's Franklin's dad? His mother, Graham.
Oh, Graham Franklin. See, Anne was the sister.
Who was the mom?
I can't remember her name. Do you remember Billy Graham's
wife?
Billy Graham's wife's name, Terry?
I'm thinking it was Grace.
I don't know.
Anyway,
there was Anne and Franklin.
she said the secret to marriage was forgiveness.
100%.
So if you're going to talk about forgiveness, we have to. Did you say was Ruth?
Ruth Graham. You broke your glasses.
Yeah. Well,
there's another pair.
I was going to try to. I was tightening up the screw, but it finally fell.
I think you just need to toss them because they're just an old pair from the probably dollar store or something. And oh yeah, Ruth. That's right.
Ruth Graham.
Yeah.
Said that the key to a good marriage was forgiveness, and really, I think it is that you don't hold anything.
No grudges.
Over. It says don't let the sun go down in your anger. I would not recommend that you stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning working out. You just let it go. And
unless and if something happens that you feel like you can't let it go, that whatever's happened, her or him, whatever's happened, then let it go that night and then maybe seek help for restoration of it, whatever it would be, if it's something really serious. If it's that you didn't eat what I got you for supper and throw it in the garbage, that can be let go. But if it's infidelity or lying or something, then you may need help. Seek out help if you can't work it out. I always felt like me and you can work about anything out. I really do.
But some couples, they hold on to things and they become what Rick Warren says historical in their arguments. They bring up the old kitchen pan in the sink and
what you did 2 years ago. I remember it.
Yes. I can't believe you did that. And that's how they fight. But
you can't. You're not supposed to do that. You're really
I think
not.
you have to let go of those things. At the beginning of our marriage, I think I had a couple of things that bothered me that I held on to. It wasn't healthy for us.
Right.
I felt like you were a little controlling.
And I've never had nobody ever say that about me.
And, yeah, sure.
Ever.
And because you, because I needed to go to the fitness center, and we disagreed on that. But now it's been long enough that there's no point.
That's not true though. See, that's a disagreement because anytime they said, I don't care if you're 80 years old and you start exercising again, things come back. You may have to do it a little slower. Instead of starting out walking a mile, you may have to walk a quarter mile. And then all week walk a quarter mile, and the next week a half. So I do disagree with that. It's never too late to do something. It's not,
Right.
I had a biology teacher that told me, I can get you up to running 5 miles. I was like, are you kidding? I can't run a quarter of a mile. And I was a cheerleader. I was not a good runner. I was in good shape, but I wasn't, my endurance for lengthy stuff wasn't there. I got bronchial asthma even as a 15-year-old. when I would exert too much, and it's kept with me my whole life. But I did get up to 2 miles of running. But it took me a long time to get up to 2 miles, even as a kid, 15, Braden's age.
But I had to let go of that and not
Yes.
hold it against you. That's the point.
Well, and two things when we first got together that you had habits of, and things I had to let go of several times,
Right.
And so, but you don't go back and go, you remember what you did 4 years ago? No, you don't do that. You go on. And if hiccups happens and things like that, then you have to have grace and mercy and forgiveness. And those, don't you agree with that? With hiccups like that. I talked to.
I think it really happens whenever people realize they're losing the disagreement.
Then they try to go.
They want to be right, and they throw up something that you did in the past that makes you wrong.
Exactly. And so I don't like to, Terry don't like to call it fighting. I don't like to disagree like that. I don't like that kind of stuff. I mean, I think today should be today, and yesterday and the day before should be back.
Because you kind of need to start over every
You do.
day. That was one of the things I went to some marriage counselors, and that was one of the things that the marriage counselors like to do is say, hey, we need to, we're going to start over right now. But really, you need to have that every day to start afresh with each other. Every day and
you're right.
That against any of the past against each other.
Well, Celebrate Recovery. We do an inventory of actually our life and who's hurt us and who have we hurt.
Right.
And we have to make amends with that. So if you have to make amends and you have to go back to make amends, that's the best time to do it. Not over and over and over again. You go back the one time, make amends, whoever you've hurt, and whoever's hurt you, and then let it go. After that, let it go.
And there's going to be some things that couples don't agree on.
Sure.
And then that is not settled. And that's, I guess the best way of handling that, unless it's something major, is that's off the table.
It's off the
table. Don't talk about it. If it's something major, then that's whenever you need to seek counseling.
If it can't be resolved, you can't, no matter what you've done. There's a cartoon. We don't talk about Bruno. No. Oh, I had to throw a little bit of fun in there.
It was being too serious.
It was too serious. I had to liven it up a little bit and get rid of. No, forgiveness. Is that Terry?
She says it needs to be worked out. If the other party doesn't feel like they need forgiveness, then to let it go, because it causes it to fester.
You're right.
If it is something that needs to be worked out, what we're saying is, if it can't be worked out,
then let it go.
That might be a time to seek out counseling or a mentor. We were talking to Charlene, my cousin Charlene, about a mentor couple.
Yeah, I loved that.
Seek their advice and something. I have in the past, had like a couples group. There was four couples, and
would they discuss in that group?
And they discuss things in the group, about things.
I love that. In CR, when we go into small group, we go women with women, men with men. And sometimes I wouldn't mind to even have a couples circle to round table circle,
a small group of couples.
Yes.
You could have a small group of couples.
I would love that.
They talk like that they have been part of it.
Yeah. Too. Yeah. I love that Terry said something else.
Oh, she did?
Mm-hmm.
She's talkative tonight.
She is. I'm glad.
We got her before her bedtime.
Yay.
We need to feel heard by her spouse. Yes.
Absolutely. if I'm talking to you and you're like doing something, and not doing something frivolous, but doing something,
Yeah.
and
That's why I've never understood why that you don't like to sit across from me when we go out to eat, because usually the I think it's in the five love languages, the uh, quality time.
and that's what I love is quality time.
And in Joyce Schlesinger's book, The Proper Care and Feeding of Men,
I need to read that one.
she taught. I think it's in both of those. They talk about the importance of sitting across the table from each other and making eye contact, so that the woman, it's more of a woman thing than a man. Men don't. I guess we like to be heard. But it's more of a respect thing.
It is.
The man wants to be respected.
And the woman wants you to pay attention to her and listen to her.
Yeah, wants you to pay attention to her. It's more about quality time.
Yeah.
For the woman.
Well, for me, sitting by you is if I want to sneak and hold your hand, or if I want to put my hand on your leg. I can't do that across the table. I'm being silly. No, I don't know. I never thought of it like that. It didn't even enter my mind like that. I mean, we sit together right now and we look at each other and talk.
Well, I had learned through those reading the books that you want to sit across from a woman. Men like sitting side by side because it's the camaraderie. It's not that we even actually say anything to each other. It's just being in each other's presence.
Right.
Like watching a movie or walking together or hunting,
hiking or fishing or whatever. Yeah,
we're side by side. Women want that attention.
Yeah, they do. Sometimes they don't get it. Sometimes your husband's been working all day and he comes home. Leanne Morgan, she's a comedian. She'll say, "Oh, yeah, you act like you don't know me when you walk in the door till we get in the bed, then you remember me." She's funny though. She has raised her children in a Christian home, and now she's traveling. She doesn't say nasty words or anything bad. She's just funny,
She does bring up a point. Is lots of times we don't hear what the other one is saying. Even it's not necessarily she says spouses, but in a discussion, or you need to have heard what the other person is saying. Sometimes we assume what the person is saying.
And we assume what they're going to say.
And we'll say, well, you said this. Well, the proper way of saying is, I understood you to say this or that, because we don't hear.
Right.
I mean, we're not mind readers. So,
no.
And that's one of the things women need to realize men aren't mind readers.
Why not? You need to learn to
be. Because we're not mind readers, we need to make sure that we're hearing what is intended to have been said.
Right.
And so the proper way of, if you're having a discussion, is say, I understood you to say.
Understood you said you're going so and so.
Right.
And they're like, no, I didn't say
Rather
that.
than, you just said that you're going to do
that.
You
said you're going down to the store. You're not? No, I never said I'm going to the store. I'm just making that up right now.
What was it? Was it yesterday you heard me say something that was really funny?
Yeah. And you said I didn't say that. And I was like, I thought you did. I thought I heard you say that.
I guess you don't remember what it was.
No, I don't. I don't remember. But what Terry said, the last thing, we need to
be heard.
Oh, be heard. Yes. Oh, absolutely, we do. And both, both needs to be heard both ways. And Annabelle, she don't want to be heard. She just wants to have her ears rubbed. Her and Katie. So forgiveness needs to be all the time. Anything that's in the past, take it off the table. Now, let me ask you this. This is a question.
Well, let's back up there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in anger, because that's what you kind of tend to be on the opposite of forgiveness. I would think you're angry.
Yeah.
And so the way that you deal with anger, there's three ways you deal with anger. One is is you stuff it and then you explode later.
Right.
Another the healthy ways of dealing with anger is you are assertive, and sometimes that's not always a good thing.
Mm-mm.
And then sometimes, and then the third way is you let go and let God. But
that's the best way.
That's the best way if you can truly let it go.
If you can really let it go.
You know, it's better. I guess it's better if you can learn how to be assertive in a good way, but
not a scary way.
But so with a husband and wife, it kind of needs to be the same way. You kind of need to learn to let things go.
Exactly. But this is a question I had. Say that someone will use a couple. This is not us, and I'm not giving a scenario about us. But if someone has an affair,
right.
Then they've got back together. They have forgiven. Say it was the woman that had the affair. The man has forgiven her and said, "Let's work this out." Blah blah blah. Okay, and it's forgiven. It's gone. The trust has to be earned back again. We're talking about forgiveness, but in a forgiveness kind of situation, that you have to earn that trust back. So what if she does it again? What if she does it again? That's a very hurtful thing to a couple,
Right.
What do they do then? Because that's been asked. I've had that question asked of me. When is it time to say, I've had enough? I had a lady ask me that the other day. When do I say I've had enough? She's forgive and she's forgive. But when is, you have to keep forgiving. The Lord says you do. But when's enough? I'm just asking.
You know what the Lord said?
What, forever and ever? You have to forgive 7 times 70? No, I mean, when is infidelity? When does it have to be stopped in a marriage?
Well, I mean, you would. That's where the boundaries come in. You would say, well, I would think that after the first time they cheated, you would put boundaries in place, and you would probably want to. I know from couples that I've counseled or guys I've counseled,
Yeah,
that the counselor has recommended that they, they uh, stay apart.
that they separate, but not divorce.
Right, until he can prove that he can be faithful to her.
But what if it gives him a chance to have more affairs because they're separated? I mean, is that a time to end it then? I mean, I'm being serious now. People have asked me these things lately.
Right.
Lately. So
and and I've seen them in those situations trying to have to prove themselves to their spouse and taking time. It's sort of like starting over. You start dating each other again, and things like that.
Well, I always say if someone is unfaithful over and over and over and over again, they're not going to quit. If you've gone to counseling, and you think things are good, and then it's again, and then you find another affair, and then you find another affair, and then there's another affair. Then sometimes the Bible also says you can dust your feet off from the person and go on.
We're one of the 70.
One of the 70.
You're taking it out of context.
No, I am. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take it out of context. But I mean, do you have to continue on that path? The reason I'm talking about this is because
actually it was one of the 12, the 70 when he sent them out. He didn't tell them to do that.
Right.
But
I mean, if you see the person is not going to quit ever,
right?
What do? You've done all you can do. Separation, they've had an affair.
Well, it may be a permanent separation. As far as a Christian is concerned, I've had a lot of people that have come to us that want counseling when they're going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And even though I have been. I'm a proponent of marriage.
Yeah,
And
me
so
too.
I wouldn't encourage them to initiate the divorce. Let the other person do that.
Well, and the Bible says, fornication and adultery, things like that, is they would give a divorce decree out, and it would be like a biblical thing. I don't like divorce.
But you have to take in consideration that back then the penalty for infidelity was
death. Yeah.
So then you could get remarried because your spouse was
dead.
Yeah, unfortunately,
exactly.
we don't.
That's bad.
We don't kill the spouses.
No, we forgive them and go and let them go about their way. So is what happens. Well, I had another question.
But what I'm saying is, I would suggest that the harmed party that the other person is cheating on is to kick them, have them leave the house. I don't want to say kick out the house.
Kick them out.
Kick them out.
Kick them out.
Say you're going to have to leave until you can control yourself.
Well, see, I knew with the forgiveness,
and you can just be very strong, and not. It's going to take a long road to build back that trust.
Yeah, a long job. So I had another person say this, and this is funny, you all, but it's true. They said, I didn't know that Tony and LaRonda did the Way to a Better Marriage. Do they have a good marriage? And I looked at the person that's telling me that it was their grandson, and I was like, does anybody really have the best marriage ever was? Everybody has troubles, you guys. There's nobody I know of that doesn't have some kind of trouble,
right.
Whether it's you children, whether it's you're just agreeing with somebody.
You're not going to agree with anybody on everything.
No. That's what makes us different.
Terry was disagreeing about something.
What was she saying?
No, the other night.
Oh.
But, no two people are going to agree on everything anyway.
Well, we're unique. Each one of us are a unique person.
What we're talking about, and I think Terry was talking about, you have to agree on some things. Like if somebody doesn't think there's anything wrong with cheating on you, and you think that there's something wrong with cheating, and they're saying I'm not going to, then you got a problem.
You got a problem.
That's whenever you're going to have to get outside influence.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've told you about the incident where and every time I got married, I had to give up all my friends because they were females.
Yeah.
And
I don't have any problem with that.
Right. And so I refused one time, and that's whenever, 8 of us couples got together and discussed my giving up this one friend that I'd had for decades. But
yeah. No,
and really, they didn't necessarily agree with it.
Right.
The couples didn't really agree.
Right.
Either. Some of them took my side, and more so the men took my side, and the women took the other side. But,
well, the thing is, to me, and
it still wasn't resolved when I wrote that.
No. The thing with me is so I'll use me and Tony in this example, is if he has a friend, and Tony never is alone with anyone. You don't do that. Even your friend Pam, you're not alone with Pam. Yeah, you're not alone with Pam in a car riding down the road nowhere. And
I rarely have any contact.
And you very seldom have contact with her. Wishing her a happy birthday or whatever. I have no problem with that. Now if Tony started calling Pam up, and I love you, Pam, if you're watching, if calling Pam up and started giving her this lonesome thing, I don't know what I'm gonna do. That's a different story.
Or asking her advice. Well, I've got a problem with LaRonda.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what to do.
That's when it poses.
Take that to your men friends.
Exactly.
You can't let your female friend know that you're having any difficulty.
So even if you're just friends, because so the forgiveness there, I don't agree with Tony having to give all of his friends up. I'm in disagreement with that. But I've had a lot of more guy friends than I have girlfriends in my lifetime.
Well, you have male friends.
I do, yeah.
Or like that. We won't list the names, but
No, I've got a lot of friends. No, I do. I've had a lot of friends, but I wouldn't be alone with them anywhere,
Right.
or ride down the car or meet them for lunch. But yeah, I mean, you sometimes the opposite sex is a great person to have a friend with, but I mean, I want Tony to be my best friend. He's as far
I
as
think,
my
and
male.
that friendship diminishes. It's sort of like whenever me and Bill and all the gang were bachelors.
That's
and
different.
then we started getting married one at a time.
Right.
It was sort of like those friendships then kind of weren't what we didn't see each other every day after
Exactly.
that.
Or talk to each other every day as far as that goes. Yeah. But now girlfriends are a little bit different. Like I've got a friend that I've had since I was 4 years old. I don't ever see her, but I talk to her sometimes a couple times a week, and have kept up with her for years all my life. But and then I have Dawnette. She's one of the best friends I've ever had in my life, her and Kat, And so, and as far as forgiveness goes, this cannot be about a couple, it could be about friends. Have you got a girlfriend that really hurt you, like a really good close friend that hurt you? How do you forgive that and go on? Can you trust them again? So it's forgiveness. A child that is 16, 17 goes out and do something they shouldn't do. You have to forgive them, but are you going to trust them, let them out again? They have to earn your trust again. So it can be all different kinds of forgiveness.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
All different kinds of forgiveness.
So we probably could have had 2 podcasts, one for each.
Well, that's okay. We're just talking. Listen, we get over here and we be transparent. And the things that I have mentioned actually have been brought up to me this week.
Okay.
Those are just questions that's been brought up to me. I'm a Christian counselor. Tony has his ministry degree, and we've had marriages between the two of us. We can tell you mistakes we've made, what not to do. But then when you say, but what should I do about this? That's when we grab the Bible and say, let's see what God says about forgiveness. Let's see what God tells us to do about this situation. That's how I like to handle things like that. Everybody has an opinion. Sometimes everybody's opinion is not the same.
And I've heard counselors give different opinions.
Absolutely.
Different counselors will tell you
different things,
ways of handling infidelity.
They do.
Because one pointed out, if you don't have them, separated, there's no consequences to it. If you just let them stay there and then in your home, then there's no consequences. It needs to be some sort of, and those boundaries need to be talked about now before they cheat.
Right.
Whenever you first get married, if you cheat on me,
then I'm done. No, I mean, if that's how you felt,
right,
you could say, you cheat on me, I'm done.
But in my estimation, what I would say is that you need to say, if you cheat on me, you're going to have to get some serious help, and you can't do that living here.
Right.
You'll have to, and let them know those boundaries.
That's good. That's good advice. It really is. And we love you guys. And no, we do not have for the person asked if we had this wonderful, great marriage. No, it's a work that has to be in progress the rest of your life. If you've been married 4 years like us, 5, 10, 15, 40, it's still a work in progress. Every single day is a different situation you have to deal with, And so that's what I look at it. It's just like you learn to love each other more and more every single day, and forgiveness comes with different situations, So, but comment and send us questions if you have any. And no, we don't have a perfect marriage, but I'm gonna hold his hand. But we love each other. I'm a hand holder. I can't help it. Girls usually are, guys usually are not hand holders. But anyway, that's all I've got tonight.
Okay, and so with that, we say,
Katie, you're not up here with me. Come here. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Come on, Annabelle. Oh, goodness. Sing it, Annabelle. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Here's wish that all you dream comes true. And now, till we meet again.
Adios. Au revoir. Good night.
We love you.